What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video. This is officially my second video on this channel, and I'm very excited for this video. So I know yesterday was a quick and short introduction of myself, my business life, my personal life, and a bit of my entrepreneurship life, and how I viewed those three things. And I showed you guys a few examples of each, and yeah, just to kind of get you guys to know me. And now here we are. So I did have another plan for today. I wanted to kind of walk you guys through my drop shipping store and just like screen share and take you guys through it and show you guys some products, show you guys why I chose those products. And then lastly, I want to show you guys and tell you guys my motivations for that business and kind of why I want to start it. Um, but now that I think about it, I kind of want to wait until it's come 100% ready, 100% live and ready to go, just so that we can get the most out of that video and create the best content for you guys. So I know in the last video I mentioned it was going to be done and prepared by, I think I said the 5th of this month. So we're still looking at that date. I think it might have to be pushed back just because we have a couple of products that still need to come in, and I don't want to start on the wrong foot. So um, I feel like my number, my lists of reasons and the way I go about things, especially in business, I think it starts with speed. I feel like speed is the most important. No, I wouldn't say it is the most important thing, but it's one of the top three for sure. Speed. One, because a lot of people procrastinate, and it's very easy to procrastinate, especially when starting a business. You can say, oh, I have this business idea, but I'm just gonna wait until, or I don't want to start until blah blah blah. And you can make up your own reason, and that's just how procrastinating works, and that's what kills businesses from starting, and that's what kills businesses when they're just starting to just to lose and not um, be able to turn to the profitability side. So I feel like speed is definitely one of my main things. Is if I have an idea, if I have a business idea or business inquiry or proposition, I try to get it starting going as fast as possible. Not because I think I'm just gonna procrastinate and immediately stop, but it completely eliminates that probability of happening at all just by starting and putting these ideas down and writing them down and creating something set in stone to build from there. So I definitely say speed. And then what I made this video about, what I want to redirect this video about, um, to be about is habits and goal setting. So I feel like along with habits and goal setting, speed is definitely among those three. And I'm not saying there is three options. I think there's various, but I definitely think speed, goal setting, habits are definitely up there, top five for sure. And I would say there's probably five, but I'm not gonna make a list right now because I just grabbed that from the top of my head. Now, for today's video, I kind of want to talk about um, goal setting and habits and why they're very important, not only in just business life or entrepreneurship life or school life. I feel like it's important in any aspect of life when you're starting something new, when you're building something new. Um, because without goals, you don't know where you want to go, and without habits, you won't be able to go to those places. So, vice versa. If you have habits, that's great and all, but the point of having habits is to end up somewhere, right? And the point of having goals is to create habits to get you there. So without one of them, the other is kind of useless. Um, I wouldn't say useless. It's just I would say less powerful. So I kind of want to start with goal setting. I feel like goal setting is the first step you should take when wanting to accomplish something big, when wanting to start something new, and wanting to, you know, build on your ideas. So kind of just wanting to start something new. I would say it's extremely important just because if you don't have goals set for yourself, then like I said earlier, you don't know where you want to go. So with that, I feel like that's the most important thing. And what I would recommend is having, between 5 and 10 short-term goals that you can achieve in the next couple of weeks, couple months. And I wouldn't take it up to a year because I believe that's starting to be, a long-term goal. So I would keep it between a couple of weeks and a couple of months for sure. And why I think you should do, so many short-term goals is because when you complete each one, it gives you more motivation and it kind of just shows you the effects of sticking to something, you know and it helps you to achieve your long term goals. So I think the first thing you do is set goals, short term and long term. and long term would obviously be 1 year plus, so 1 year, 2 years, and 3 years, and where you want to be. And then even for each year, you could set 4 or 5 goals for each year, and then each of those goals will help you achieve one or two of your long term goals, such as buying a car, or buying a new business, or something to do with investing, something to do with and it doesn't have to just be money. It could be like a big weight loss journey. It could be starting a new business, starting a new channel, starting a new blog, something like that. It could be a short term goal, long term goal. You can make it up. But like I said, what I recommend is having between 5 and 10 short term goals, and then however many long term goals you want. And a lot of people make the mistake of making 10 long term goals. Like, there's a reason they're called long term. It's because they're supposed to be specific. They're supposed to be manageable to an extent, but also challenging. Now, if you make 10 challenging long term goals, do you really think that's going to happen? Do you really think you're going to be able to achieve them? No. So you shouldn't overdo it. Now, starting with 10 short-term goals, that's great, because those are doable. You want to make them, yeah, short-term, but you want to make them doable. You do want to make them challenging, and you want to make them in a timely manner. That's why they're short-term. Now, long-term, like I said, they should be a bit more difficult. It should take a lot more time, and it should also be something that that you're capable of doing, and you should know how capable you are of doing something. And like I said, with the short-term goals, I feel like the more you achieve each goal, the more capable you are to achieve that bigger goal. So without further ado, let's move on from that. But I do think goal setting is definitely the first thing that you should focus on. Second should be habits, because the habits that you form, the habits you choose to do, and the routine you decide to choose to go throughout your day and throughout your week and even throughout your month will help you to achieve your goals. And like I said at the very beginning of the videos, without having goals set, the habits are kind of pointless. Now, they do help you to a point, but they're all pretty much short term. It helps you from your day to day, it helps you from your week to week, but will it really help you from your month to month to to even a year, or to your long term goals? But like I'm saying, you have to have goals in order to make a big change, make a big effect in your life. And I would like to share a couple of those experiences with you, but just right after we get through this section of the video. Now, with habits, you should form kind of like goals. You should form a few for a kind of like a short term, and then after a couple weeks and a couple months, you can level up your habits and make them a bit more extreme. So a few habits I think everyone should incorporate all parts of their life are the time you wake up, the things you eat, and the people you hang around, right? So if you're hanging around people who are not like-minded with you, people who don't have the same ideas as you, or the same mindset, the same creativity, and the same just those things, to be able to grow as a person, grow in your wealth, in your personal life, grow your mind, become stronger physically, mentally, financially. If you're hanging around people who don't have those goals, they're just going to hold you back from achieving them. So you should form habits based on those three things. What time you wake up, who you hang around, and what you eat. Like I said, what you eat, and a lot of people don't believe this, but what you eat does become a part of you, does become you. Like, literally, I have very sensitive skin, and I know this is a little bit personal, but the things I eat literally show my skin, and my skin show the things I eat. So if I'm eating junk food or fast food for a week or a month, I literally start to get like a bunch of like pimples on my back, or like a little dark spots on my skin, and it's extremely unhealthy, especially for me, because I have very sensitive skin. So a lot of people don't experience those effects, but that kind of comes to show how dramatic what you eat can be, and how it can greatly affect you. Now, obviously, it affects your brain. There's a bunch of studies on that. I'm not gonna go into that because I don't really know anything about that. But I know, obviously, what you eat, you are what you eat. So control your eating, eat good foods, hang around good people, hang around the people who are like-minded, have the same kind of goals as you, and then the time to wake up. This is very, very tricky for most people, and it was very, very tricky for me at first, before I incorporated it in my life, before it became a habit. And at one point, it was a goal. I had a goal of wanting to wake up at this time every day, and one of my habits was to wake up a bit later than then, because I wasn't able to, naturally wake up every day at that time. But I think you should make a realistic time to be able to wake up and get things done. So like I said, with your short term goals, they should be realistic and doable, and that will help you to achieve your long term goals. So I could say waking up at 3:30 or 4:30 is a long term goal, just because that is a drastic thing for most people. But beforehand, I start with a little bit of habits, with a smaller habit, with a smaller goal of waking up at 6, waking up at 5:30, and then eventually I got to push that way back to 4:30, 5. And just a few months ago, I was waking up at, this is a bit crazy, and I wouldn't recommend it to anyone, but just a few months ago, I was waking up at 2:30 to go to the gym, and then to work on trading, and then doing homework, and then going to school at 7:45. So that was a bit crazy. I wouldn't say that's very good for your mental health, for your physical health, unless you're sleeping and going to bed at like 8 p.m. And as a high school student, I don't think that's very doable, especially if you're an athlete, because it's very hard because practice doesn't get out till X amount of time. But like I said, I feel like the habits you create definitely make a difference. So make it a timely manner. I think that waking up at a certain time will always help you. Eating specific foods, eating a certain kind of food, and not eating a certain kind of food will always help you in the name of the people hanging around, right? So now, like I said, we're past that point. We're past the section in the video. So I kind of want to get into a little bit of personal experience and what I've seen and learned from other people. So let's go back to the habits. The goal setting. The goal setting was the first part of the video. Some of these subscribers know me, and then most of you guys don't know me. So I just want to give you a little bit more personal of information and show you my experiences with goal setting and habit creating. So I've been an athlete for 12 years, and for all 12 years I have played soccer. So I played soccer all my life. I just kind of stopped playing this year just because I knew I wouldn't want to do that going to college, and it was a great part of my life, and it was extremely emotional and extremely challenging for me to kind of get over that fact and kind of tell people and inform people that I kind of don't want that to be a part of my life anymore. And it's not because it's a bad thing. It's not because I don't like it. Of course, I love it, and I always have and I always will. But I kind of just know that, being honest with myself, I didn't really want to go pro because I knew what it took and I knew what it required. And what I mean by that is not waking up every day and training every day, because that's the easiest part. The hardest part is all the traveling, every single day, training twice a day, things like that. And it's a toll. It's a huge toll on your body. It's a huge toll on your mental state. And when you grow up and when you do it professionally, as you see with most stars, they're far away from their family, from their friends, from their, other part of life. And so I didn't really want my entire life to be, just soccer or football. So I just want to share a little bit of my experience with that. With goal setting, I had just started being extremely strict my sophomore year with goal setting with soccer, because I knew, or at that time, I thought I really wanted to go pro. I really thought I wanted to, go D1 and go D2. Either one of those divisions is really great. But just to hurry this up a bit, I used to not have a time I wanted to go to bed. I used to not have a time I would wake up, and I used to not have a time or amount of times that I would train per day. And that really slowed me down, and that really pushed me back from, growing and becoming a better athlete, becoming a better student, because it's all about time management. So sophomore year, I got really strict. And on Saturdays and Sundays, I would I think I would wake up at 4:30 a.m. and it'd be super cold in the morning, even though it's Florida, but it'd be super cold in the morning. It'd be like low 60s or sometimes high 50s, especially in the wintertime here in Florida. It was like 35, 37 degrees, and I would go and my fucking feet would be frozen. But that's the cost, right? A cost is what you sacrifice to achieve your goals, and that's how your habits help you to achieve your goals. It helps you push past the things you haven't done before. It helps you push past pain, and it helps you push past setbacks and all those kinds of things. So I really believe that all those things come incorporated into one. But like I said, I didn't really start taking it seriously till sophomore year. And then I started to wake up at that time. I started to eat specific foods. I started to train twice a day, and I would fit it in perfectly, because I would come home. I would wake up at 4:30, come back home at 6:30, take a nap from 6:30 to 8:30, and that's when my family started to wake up. So it's like, oh, good morning, but I've already been up for 4 or 5 hours almost. And then I would have breakfast, have lunch, chill with my family, whatever, and then I'd go back for an evening session for 2 more hours. Then I'd come home and then eat and then go back. So it was very strict. And that's what I meant by, that's kind of not what I want to do for my entire life or for my, whatever, like prime years of life. Um, and it was a little bit sad to come over that and to just admit that to myself. But um, at the end of the day, I know that I would be happier, doing what I know I would rather do than kind of doing something just because I've already done it, kind of doing something because I know I'm good at it. Um, so it's just, yeah. So you just kind of got to move on from those things. Um, and then I would say the gym for sure would be another goal setting because I used to be super lightweight. I used to be 135 sophomore year, and now I weigh 155. And I know 20 pounds doesn't seem like a lot, but a lot of it, and I mean a lot of it, was muscle because I would work out once, twice a day, or, you know, I figured out that kind of working out every other day works best because it lets your muscles, rest and grow when you sleep and you eat. But at the time when I was goal setting, I was going crazy. I was going every day, eating as much calories, I was eating as much protein, all that stuff. I had it all calculated to the perfect exact decimal, the perfect number. Um, and I achieved my goals in that aspect, and I was really proud and I was really happy, and it was amazing because I knew and I know that when you stick to something, you'll be able to accomplish the goal that you achieve or the goal that you want to achieve. So my advice to you guys, my advice, even to myself, because I'm still working on these kinds of things, the things are, set goals first, specific goals. Make sure, you get a timely manner, make sure they're doable, and also make sure they're challenging. So that's for the goals. Same thing for the habits. Make sure they're habits that you can do. Make sure they're habits that you do every day. Make sure they're doable. Also make sure they're challenging, and make sure you do them and choose when to do them on a timely manner. Especially, eating, sleeping, and just dividing up the time that you have to work, to have fun, and to rest. Because it's very important to have time management. And I feel like I should make another video about that, and I will. I don't know if it's gonna be the next video, but I know it's gonna be a video coming up, just because that's extremely important, and that's a huge aspect of a lot of business, and it's a huge aspect of a lot of personal gain, and spending time with family and working, and spending even time by yourself, which all those things are extremely healthy. It's just the matter of time and energy that you put in each one that becomes the most prominent and the most effective in the best way. But my advice to you guys, like I said, choose a couple goals between 5 and 10 short-term goals, and then I would say between 1 and 5 long-term goals, and 5 is like the very, very max. I wouldn't really recommend that, but I would say, for that to be really your biggest limit. And then for the habits, like I said, you can make sure you do all those things, and then after a couple of days, a couple of weeks, or even a month, you can scale your habits and make them more challenging, make them more specific, and that will ultimately help you to achieve your goals and to start a new business, or meet more important people, or important people in general, and things like that. But yeah, so without further ado, that's the end of the video. I hope you guys learned something, and I hope you guys take some of this advice and use it in the best way. So thank you very much for watching the video. Have a great day, guys, and I'm excited to see you guys in the next one. Peace.